Hey YouTubers, I'm Cybersnag7 and this is my first YouTube video. Been influenced by watching a lot of you guys out there showing off your wares, what games you got, pickups, what consoles you own. I found it well interesting, so I thought I've got a history of gaming behind me, so I thought I'd show it off. I just want to give a big shout out first to two probably of my favourite YouTubers, Sainted Magnus, Alpha Omega Sin, and G Minty Fresh. Respect to you guys. Anyway, I thought I'm going to start with probably a double video because I've got a lot of consoles. I thought I'd show off my consoles first and technically go through from the oldest to the present day of what I've got. I am going to be a couple missing, which you are going to probably notice, but I'll let you know what they are. They are the Atari 2600 Vader Edition, which I do have, and the original PlayStation 1 and the original PlayStation 2, but I haven't got them here. They're in storage, unfortunately, because I've got no room for them, which is a total bummer, but shit happens. So without further ado, let's get on. Let's show you the first part of my video concerning my consoles. So it's one of the oldest that I've got, and believe it or not, it's one of the most recent that I bought. It's this one. It's the Japanese Super Famicom system. Excellent machine. I really do like it. I was playing it last week when I got it, and it's quite enjoyable. Weirdly, I've only got one game, but the one game that I got, I love, which I'll get into in another video. But I did pay $120 for it, but to be honest, I ain't too fussed because the box is in pretty decent nick. I've got a hole here, but what can you say? What was the console come out? What, 1982 or 1985, something like that? I don't know. So I thought, yeah, I'm having this console. Always wanted one. I mean, it's immaculate. Still in its wrapping, still perfectly preserved, no discoloration, and it still has its original instructions, so I'm happy about that, totally. But I've got to say, the one drawback is actually playing the system. If I played it for probably 2 hours, I'd end up blind, because you've got to sit about a foot away from the screen, because the joypads are attached to the system, and the wire's about a foot long. So you're literally sitting against the TV, so you'll have no eyesight left. So I've got to try and figure out, which no doubt I can, is just get an area extension and pull it further away from the TV. That's one tip you really need to know if you've got one of these systems. But apart from that, I love it. It's a classic system. So moving on, we got the PAL NES system in its box in its entirety. 2 joypad edition with Super Mario, and it is, yeah, Super Mario. There you go, and it's still in the box, thankfully. Obviously, I still do prefer the Japanese design over this one. This is just too blocky. I don't know what it is, but I'm still glad I got it, because I got this about, well, you're talking about 8 years ago, but for a bargain price of a tenner. So I'm not complaining. 10 quid for a perfectly perfect system is fucking a deal and a half in my book. So there you go, that's my NES PAL system. Staying with the Nintendo theme, obviously everybody's got one, I think. But I moved on, and then I bought myself this, which is possibly the greatest console ever made, in my opinion, personally, which is the Super Nintendo system, the PAL version. Originally I got the Super Scope one, obviously with a horrible Super Scope, but I made the mistake of getting rid of it, and I regretted it badly. So I ended up getting this one, which is perfect nick, and this is the Super Mario All-Stars edition with Super Mario added on, Super Mario World added onto it. All in perfect nick, and I'm so glad I got this back. So glad. But there you go, that is the amazing Super Nintendo system. But I didn't stop there. I wanted another system. The original system I wanted, which I still have got to get, to be honest, is the Super Nintendo, the American one, the square. Yeah, I haven't got one. Still want one. I know where to get one from. But I made do, and I got this one about, what, 4 years ago, which I'm pretty pleased about. I got this Super Famicom Junior, the American version, in its box. Perfect nick. Lovely machine. Gotta say, it's super light. Nothing to it. It's missing its LED on it. I'd like to have seen an LED so I know the thing's on and off. I know it's trivial, but it's just, I like to know it's on and off. So I don't, whatever. But beautiful machine. And I'm glad I've got it because I paid fairly cheap. I think I paid about, what, 65 quid for it, and that to me is cheap because these are going for a fair whack now, especially boxed in this condition. So I'm pretty chuffed I've got it. There you go. So that's my American Super Nintendo Junior, but I didn't stop there because I ended up getting the Super Famicom Junior also, because I've got Japanese games as well. So I thought to myself, rather than go through the rigmarole of getting myself a stupid adapter, which I still have got one but I don't use, I thought I'd have a Japanese Super Famicom Junior. Great machine. It's exactly the same as the American one. No differences. The only drawback about this was, when I actually bought it, you get the console and the joypad, and that's it. You don't get nothing else in the system itself. So thankfully I had myself a spare aerial, and it does actually work with a PAL power pack, which is a tip if anybody wants one, or you're going to buy one in a box like I did, and I got it new. So but be wary of that. But it does work with a PAL power pack, which I'm pretty chuffed about. So there you go. There's the Super Famicom, the NES, and Super Nintendo Famicom Junior. Okay, so that was my Famicom era out the way. Well, I have got one more, to be honest. Yeah, I'll show you that one as well. Why not? This one I bought about a month ago, which I'm chuffed about, and it saves me getting out my consoles. This is the Superboy. Yep, I have a Superboy. This baby plays Super Nintendo games on the go. This is my jewel. I love this system. It's just awesome. Saves me getting out my Super Nintendo systems. I just slap a cartridge in the top and it plays like a fucking dream. The best handheld I've ever bought. Apart from the size, it's like a brick. But at the end of the day, it plays Super Nintendo games on the fucking go. You cannot beat that. That is the class fucking system. Fucking worth every penny. I've paid about 60 quid for it. Absolute must for any Super Nintendo fans who love to play the Super Nintendo. That is a fucking system. Class system. That is truly it for the Super Nintendo. Pop it back in its bag where it belongs. Super duper. Okay, right, we'll move on. This is going the same era as the Super Nintendo, obviously. I picked up this, the Mega Drive. Obviously this one is the Asian version, and it does play most games. I say most because I've still got a couple of games where they don't actually play in the system, which is really fucking weird. But I've still got an adapter for it, and I've still managed to play about 2 or 3 games that don't actually work on the system, which I kind of find weird for a multi-region system. But you got Sonic with this one, which is still in the box. This is empty, of course, because it's underneath this TV as we speak. There you go. That is my Mega Drive Asian version. Okay, right. This is the last one I'm going to show this video, and then I'll get back to you guys with a second video with my consoles. So here we go. This one, actually, yeah, I'll show you these because I'll come back to them in a bit. Right, firstly, you know it and I know it, the Sega Saturn in its box, pristine condition, chuffed to bits because I got this about 10 years ago and I paid £14 for it, and it's absolutely mint. There's not a problem with it. Absolutely brand new. 14 quid from where was it now? I can't think. Bloody Blockbuster. Went into Blockbuster years ago when I used to do all the games. 14 quid. Absolute steal. Next to obviously the NES system that I bought for 10 quid. So I can't complain with that one. And then the final system I'm going to show you is obviously the Japanese Sega Saturn system, which is the grey version, the original version, which yet again it's not in there, it's over there right next to my big TV. So there you go, the Japanese Sega system. Gotta admit, one thing about these systems, the fucking rock. Seriously, the games rock on the Jap, but the releases over on the PAL version really fucked that system up as far as I'm concerned. The quality of gaming you had over there, the graphics, the effort they put into the games, and they was never released over here. Hardly any of them, especially the fighting games. I still can't get my head around to this day. The games on this system are class, fucking amazing, and hardly any of them come over to the UK. That's why that system just crashed and burned in my opinion. Simple as. It's a shame because it's a fucking brilliant system. Brilliant system. But there you go. Anyway, enough yabba. This is my Sega Saturn Japanese version. Fantastic. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the first YouTube video. I'm CyberSnake7. Keep playing, guys, and keep watching. See you in part 2.